Class 11th, Subject Physics, 10th chapter Electrostatics. From this chapter, let us see Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law will be given in two forms, that is scalar form as well as vector form, and the statement of Coulomb's law is given as the force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges at rest is directly proportional to the product of the magnitudes of two charges and inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. The force of attraction or repulsion between 2 point charges at rest is directly proportional to product of the magnitudes of two charges and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. In order to explain the mathematical form of Coulomb's law, let us consider 2 point electric charges Q1 and Q2 separated by a distance r. So Q1 and Q2 represents the magnitudes of the two charges, and these two charges are separated by distance r. The magnitude of the force F between these two electric charges is given as F proportional to Q1 Q2 upon r square, and therefore we can write F is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon r square, where K is the proportionality constant and its magnitude depends upon the units of F, Q1, Q2 and R, and also it will depend upon the properties of the medium around the charges. The force may be attractive or repulsive depending upon the nature of these charges Q1 and Q2. Now this K, that is constant of proportionality, will be given as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 if these two charges are placed in vacuum or free space, or K is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon if the charges are placed in any medium of permittivity epsilon. So in these two equations, epsilon 0 will represent the permittivity of free space or vacuum, and this epsilon will represent the permittivity of that medium other than free space or vacuum. So the force in free space will be given as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 by r square, and in any medium it will be given as F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by r square. Now let us see the vector form of Coulomb's law. Vector form of Coulomb's law. So in order to explain the vector form, let Q1 and Q2 be the two similar point charges, that is positive charges Q1 and Q2, which are separated by a distance r12, and the charges will be situated at the 2 points A and B. So the magnitudes of the charges are Q1 and Q2, and these two charges are similar charges situated at points A and B, and the distance of separation between them is r12. Now there will be two forces acting on these two charges, that is F12, that is the force which is directed away from charge Q1, and this F12 force is the force acting on charge Q1 by charge Q2. Similarly, force F21 is directed away from this charge Q2, and which is the force acting due to the first charge on this second charge Q2. So F12 and F21, these are the forces acting on these two charges by the other charges, and therefore the force F21, this force F21 which is acting on the charge Q2 by charge Q1 is given as, in the vector form it will be given as force F21 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 if the charges are placed in vacuum into Q1 Q2 upon R12 square, that is the magnitude of R12 square, into unit vector R12 cap, let it be equation number 1. So in this case, point O is there at the origin of the coordinate axis having x and y axis. R1 will represent the position vector of charge Q1 and R2 will represent position vector of charge Q2. Now the second force F12, that is the force acting on the charge Q1 by charge Q2, is given as 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R12 square, that is magnitude of R12 square, into unit vector R21 cap, let it be equation number 2. Now from equation 1 and 2, it is observed that 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0. This second term Q1 Q2 upon magnitude of R12 square and Q1 Q2 upon magnitude of R12 square are equal, and these two unit vectors will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction, and therefore we can say that the force F21 will be equal to minus of force F12. The reason behind it, that negative sign will indicate that the vectors R12, that is that distance, will be oppositely directed to that of R21. That is, if R12 is measured from first charge to second charge, R21 will be measured from second charge to first charge. Their magnitudes will be the same but directions will be opposite to each other, and therefore we can write force F21 will be equal to minus of force F12. Now let us see the next point, and that will be next point, that is the definition of unit charge. But from this equation again it is clear that these two forces will produce action reaction pair, that is F21 and F12. These forces will form action reaction pair, as F12 and F21, these two forces act along the same line AB. They are acting along the same line but in opposite direction. Then these two forces will act along the line joining the charges, and the electrostatic force between them is said to be the central force. Now let us see the definition of unit charge. Definition of unit charge. The force between, in order to define this unit charge, let us consider the force between the 2 point charges Q1 and Q2 separated by a distance r in the free space is given by the formula F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon r square. Now if we put the values of 4 pi and epsilon 0, the value of this epsilon 0, that is permittivity of the free space, is 8.85 into 10 raised to minus 12 SI units. So if you put the value of this factor, it comes out to be 9 into 10 raised to 9, and into Q1 Q2 by r square, this will be the force. Now, if Q1 is equal to Q2 is equal to 1 coulomb, if this magnitude of these two charges are the same and it is equal to 1 coulomb, and the distance of separation between them r is equal to 1 meter, then force is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9. That force is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9, and therefore by using this condition, as Q1 equal to Q2 equal to 1 coulomb and R equal to 1 meter, at that time force is equal to 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton. By using this condition, we can define a charge of 1 coulomb, and it will be defined as 1 coulomb is the amount of charge which placed at a distance of 1 meter from another charge of the same magnitude in vacuum experiences a force of 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton. 1 coulomb is the amount of charge which, when placed at a distance of 1 meter from another charge of the same magnitude in vacuum, experiences a force of 9 into 10 raised to 9 Newton. And now let us see the next point, that is relative permittivity or dielectric constant. Relative permittivity or dielectric constant. Now what is that term? So according to Coulomb's law, the force acting on the charges when placed in any medium is of permittivity epsilon is given as, so for any medium, the force medium equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 upon R square as equation number 1. Similarly, if the charges are placed in vacuum, then that force is given as force vacuum equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R square as equation number 2. Now dividing equation 2 by equation 1. So from equation 1 and 2 we can write force vacuum upon force medium. Force vacuum upon force medium will be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 Q2 upon R square divided by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R square. So Q1 Q2 by R square will get cancelled from both. Similarly 4 pi will get cancelled. This will be shifted to numerator and epsilon 0 will be at denominator, and therefore the ratio of F vacuum to F medium will be equal to epsilon upon epsilon 0, that is the ratio of permittivity of the medium divided by permittivity of the free space or vacuum. But this ratio epsilon upon epsilon 0 is the relative permittivity or dielectric constant of that medium denoted by K, and therefore we can write K equal to epsilon upon epsilon 0, or it is equal to force in vacuum divided by force in medium, equation number 3. So this last equation 3 gives the relative permittivity of that medium or dielectric constant of that medium. Now from this it will be concluded that, observing equation number 3, we can say that first, the relative permittivity or dielectric constant K is the ratio of absolute permittivity of a medium, that is epsilon, to the permittivity of the free space, that is epsilon 0. Second, the relative permittivity or dielectric constant K is the ratio of the force between 2 point charges placed at a certain distance apart in vacuum to the force between the same 2 point electric charges when placed in medium at the same distance. Then third, the relative permittivity or the dielectric constant is also called as the specific inductive capacity. The specific inductive capacity, and a material medium reduces the force between the charges by a factor epsilon 0 its relative permittivity. A material medium reduces force between the charges by a factor of epsilon 0 its relative permittivity.